I want him. My ideal signings would be Paulina from Fulham, Nunes from Wolves, and then Jude Bellingham from Dortmund, lad. That would be wonderful. We could get an overhaul of that midfield. Then next season, lad.
How much would that set you back?
A lot, and I don't care, lad. Chelsea spending 600 million. They spend whatever. They spend 100 million on Jack Grealish, lad. Do you know what I mean? We need to start doing these type of big spending.
Are FSG really going to do that, though?
This is the thing, lad.
They've been saving up. We heard in Klopp's press conference yesterday.
Did you see it?
Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
Man said, I am positive.
With
a smile on that.
He said, we're busy as you can imagine. There's talks, no decision yet, but they're positive. And then he smiled.
Yeah?
Oh.
And you know what?
Did he wink as well?
He did. I think there was a little wink in there. It was kind of like...
So you said Bellingham confirmed?
No.
Imagine
you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
No, that's your word.
Jude Bellingham doesn't come to Liverpool at the end of this season.
It would be the biggest tease ever.
Yeah, it will.
Ever.
I won't know whether or not to like him anymore, lad.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
I'll be finished
in
with
my
him if he
eyes,
goes.
it's Liverpool fans who have gassed themselves up.
I agree.
No, it's Henderson, Trent.
Yeah, it is.
They're partly to blame as well.
But they must know what they're doing.
But you guys have wound yourselves up.
They must know what they're doing, though.
You cannot
They wouldn't
turn
do it
around
for
in
no
the summer.
reason.
No, if this
wouldn't
move
do it
does
for
not
no
happen,
reason.
I don't want to hear Liverpool fans blaming Jude. You lot did this to yourselves.
Yeah, that's fair.
You sold yourselves
A lot
dream,
of fans
But
think
Jude-
we've already got him. Please.
Do you what type of signing could he? How big of a signing could he be if he did come this summer? Is he
There's
the
no
kind
word
of
for
one?
it.
Is he
There's
the
no word.
most important
There's
one?
no
of
word
the
for it.
midfield three,
He's
you would say?
number
It would be
one
seismic.
target, lad. Yeah. We need it, lad. If you look at it, right, the last 5 years, Liverpool have been in the Champions League final 3 times, right? That's a club at the top of football, lad. And if he looks at that, he knows we're not far off from getting back to that. We just need a few little components to build the squad again. And yes, we might not have Klopp for the next 5 years, but we have got him for the next 2 or 3. So that's something to build on, lad.
Yeah.
And if he can leave, if Jude can come for them 3 years and build something with us then, and we get a new manager in after that, and we can still be that winning team with him at the helm, being captain with his best mate Trent, lad. They can go on all the nights and the concerts they want, lad. They can go out all the time, end up and be his mate as well, tag along and that. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you both a question. Would
I love
you
that you
guys?
thought about his social life.
Yeah,
Think
like,
what
yeah,
you can
it's
do, you need it.
You've
I
got
was here
mates,
to do
He
lad.
was at a Chris Brown concert with Trent the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Getting
saw
jiggy
that.
and that, you know what I
Just
mean?
not
Doing
even in the VIP, like in the mosh.
Let's
Just
not give Chris Brown any airtime.
Hey man, I was gonna say, listen, I always hear a lot of discussion about Jude Bellingham's best role, and I know maybe this is a little bit away from the game, but I just want to talk on him a little bit before the game kind of starts. But I always hear sometimes it's the number 6, sometimes it's the number 8. He's best in
everything.
the double pivot. Some people say in the final third is where you see a lot of his best actions sometimes come off. Where do you guys kind of see him if he did come to Liverpool?
8. He can tackle, he can run. He's a player that can get it. He's a box-to-box midfielder. That's
So what
without a
Henderson's
shadow of a
role
doubt.
currently?
And he's better than Henderson at the age of 19, unfortunately. Lad, for Henderson, he just is. He's a natural talent. He's got an athletic body, lad. He can run from one end of the pitch to the other in no time with the ball at his feet as well and create something. So for me, he's a proper, he's a throwback. He's a number 8. He's not a pivot player. He can do that. But he's got so much more to his game. So I think you utilise every attribute that he has and put him in that free roaming number 8 role where you just go and do whatever you want, lad, and win that ball back.
and he's also got quite an aggressive side as well, where he can play a bit further back and get
Stuck in, lads.
get stuck in the mud a little bit and throw in some big tackles, be a bit of a nuisance further back. So I truly believe if he played in a 6, he'd be our best player on the pitch. If he played in an 8, again, and a 10, I think
That's exactly it.
he would be the best player on the pitch for us.
That's exactly it.
I just worry whether you lot have the funds to get him and some of those other positions,
I trust
or whether
Klopp.
it's
So do I.
I trust
or
Klopp.
whether it's a thing where there's too much competition potentially. With if City say they're interested, if Madrid, I know a lot of people say that one's far fetched because they've got Tchouaméni and Camavinga already. I hear that as well. It doesn't make sense. They've got Valverde as well. But you know how these big clubs are. Sometimes they'll just throw their names into the hat.
I see
PSG.
Robbie the other day saying, if we
Arsenal.
win the league, why can't Arsenal?
Listen, we might have him walking through here because they've got a 3 o'clock game as well.
I was messaging an Arsenal fan all day about that yesterday, like literally saying that is not happening whatsoever.
No.
The only team I actually fear him going to is City. He wants to come back to the Premier League. He wants to be in England. He's done
For now,
he's done the foreign team now. Where he's went to Germany. He's made his name. You know, it's not his local community and whatever
And I
else.
can see it
He'll
if-
want to come back to England.
And he
lad.
might be friends with Trent, but he's also friends with Haaland, guys.
And
Yeah,
that's
exactly that.
and that's what
Legit
I'll ask
players,
you. Like, on that side,
Dortmund.
do you feel like that's a signing in the summer you would love to see? Because I think with City, that would be massive.
They don't
for them, in
need
my
more.
opinion.
Do you know what I mean?
need
Come
it.
on.
I was
Share
just
it
gonna
around.
say,
Yeah. You say that, but then it's like Gundogan is pretty much on his last leg. KDB's pretty much coming to the final chapter. Foden, you don't know whether he's a wide player or whether he's a centre midfielder. That kind of centre midfield position, I feel like for City, they need that
I
kind
hear
of
that.
fresh blood to kind of come in. Jude Bellingham, could he be that kind of one where Pep goes, you know what, I've seen the little link up, what you're doing at Dortmund. Come and bring me some of that at City. And if you guys are struggling and maybe doing we'll give you 60 up front and 16 installments, City might just turn around and say, you know what, here's 120 mil up front.
Aren't they being currently investigated?
Listen,
Hey,
So let's just remember that as well.
alleged at the moment. It's all
No,
alleged.
they're being
It's all
investigated.
alleged.
They're not allegedly being investigated. They are being
Those
investigated.
charges are alleged. So at the moment, nothing's been charged
Innocent until
officially.
proven guilty, guys.
Exactly.
Right, well,
So
it's going to
at
be
this-
guilty, just to let you know.
But
well,
I
when
don't know.
it is, it will just confirm I support the right team.
Do you know what would be mad?
Lack controversy.
If Jude decided to stay at Dortmund, I seen that Dortmund have offered him a 260 grand contract a week, lad. So
Fair
you know,
play to them.
Yeah, fair play.
Like, we're
And
talking about him as if he's like definitely leaving.
Yeah.
You've got to respect Dortmund.
Yeah.
They've
He's
got
just been
him.
made he's captain as well, isn't he, at Dortmund and that?
Yeah.
Like, they give him a big responsibility. And Dortmund are a Champions League contender without a shadow
potentially
of a
win the
doubt.
title this
Yeah, they are, and the Bundesliga title.
So why do you want to leave a team that's just beaten Bayern Munich to the league?
Yeah.
So you think
the
maybe
thing, lad.
even because he's still only 18, 19,
Exactly,
still
lad.
stay
19.
maybe.
He might
Yeah.
think the best thing for me to is actually stay and see how Liverpool do next season, or see how this team does. He might think that's the best thing
Potentially,
Or
for
they
him.
could say 3-year deal, not a 5-year one. Let's protect ourselves a little bit, and then we get even more money for you next year. We'll keep you
Potentially
for a year.
do what they did with Haaland, put in a
Yeah.
release clause up until a certain number of years or whatever.
He's
But
not in a rush, is he?
either way, that Bellingham saga is going to be a long, ongoing one. I feel like it's going to be similar to what Sancho was with United, where it's almost like a 2-year saga.
Drawn out.
Do you know what?
War.
It's already been 18 months.
Yeah.
This what we're
For
talking
me, I would
about
say
here.
this year's really the year where
I remember
feel like
talking
you
about
guys-
this in
the
2021
World Cup
though,
was
like-
when you lot really started to be like, oh, you lot seen
it's
Hendo,
way
Wales,
before
Trent.
that.
No,
It's gonna happen, guys.
Before the World Cup.
Trust
Before
us,
the
lad,
World
that's
Cup.
way
It was
before.
definitely before that, lad. It was in the World Cup, though, we were like, oh my God, this is why we want him. You know, this is the reason why we want him. But before that, lad, there was loads of talk about Jude coming here. He was,
Yeah.
like, honestly, he's been mates with Trent and Hendo for ages, lad.
Yeah.
It wasn't just this media highlighting it.
But the
It's been
World
before.
Cup was the point where this guy, even if you're not a football fan, it was like, oh, Jude Bellingham, Jude Bellingham. He was
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Social media, TikTok, girls was loving him. Like,
Yeah.
he really just became like a super celeb during that World Cup. So,
The world's at his feet, innit? It
Yeah.
really is. So
Yeah.
come to Liverpool, innit? Because we'll give you everything, lad. All of it.
Well, listen, make sure you're sending your predictions in. I'll be getting these guys' predictions very shortly as well. Let me read out some of the comments as well. Tyrone says, just bring back Lavia. That's actually not a bad shout. If Man City want to freshen up the midfield.
Lavia from
Southampton youngster, yeah.
He's a brilliant little player.
'Cause I think they've got a buyback
Yeah,
clause
they
on
do.
him as well. So, Ahmed Samir says he's Musiala's friend. So, maybe talks of going to Bayern Munich. I'm not sure. They're
Nah, I
potentially
can't see
going
that.
see that.
Havertz potentially going there with Tuchel being there
I genuinely
now.
think the boy wants to come back to England, lad. I don't know if it's going to be Liverpool, but I genuinely feel like the lad wants to come back to the Premier League. That's why he's having all these great little pictures with all these different England players, and he's got a nice rapport with them and all that stuff. I feel like he wants to. He went back to Bellingham a few weeks ago or a few months ago, didn't he?
Oh, God.
He's going to miss his family, lad. He's going to miss a lot about home.
And
do you know what as well?
And they're saying he's potentially a big,
younger
big
brother.
talent as well. Yeah, Joby Bellingham.
Liverpool need to realise that and make a package deal that looks up. Because
Yes.
his dad's both of their agents as well, and his dad is
What
a
do you think,
Liverpool
bring both the
fan.
brothers
Jude's a
in?
Liverpool fan. Obviously
Yeah.
Birmingham and then Liverpool.
Do it, lad.
Try, just make a package. Make him an offer you can't refuse.
That's why I'm talking about the mates and the
What would
social
that
life,
be?
lad.
Like
This is
Lampard.
literally-
You're looking for the director of football's job, isn't it? I see you.
what would that be, though, do you think?
Trent's your
Just
best mate.
everything,
Hendo's your
mate.
best mate. You know what I mean?
Get a
This-
slot on the Cop TV every week as well. You know what I mean?
That would be quality. That would be quality.
I can guarantee that
Come
as
back
well.
for the bad weather.
Fieldy says no chance Liverpool get him.
Cheers.
All right, then ask a poll then. So where's he going to go, lad?
No, the question is, where do we think he wants to go?
Yeah, where does
let's
he want
let's
to go?
answer that.
Okay, I think
because
if
it
you're
doesn't
talking in
matter what
terms
we
of where
think.
he wants to go, Gerrard being his idol, I think it's
Thank
clear
you.
he wants to go Liverpool. The question is whether you
But his
guys
dad
can
would
make
want him-
his dream come true.
His dad would want him to go to Liverpool. As
Of
well.
course, but listen,
And his
everybody
dad's
wants
his agent.
what they want, but sometimes you end up where you don't want to be. Do you know what I mean? I've
100%.
seen Arsenal players sign for Spurs.
Yeah.
I've seen
I'm
Luis
sure
Diaz.
they didn't want to.
I've
They
seen-
had to go on delete
I'm sure they didn't want
upon
to.
announcements. Listen, the game is the game sometimes, trust me.
I've seen Luis Diaz sign a contract for Tottenham and then be Liverpool.
End up somewhere
player.
else. You know what I mean? I've seen Willian do the same thing.
Yep.
I've seen Sissoko do it somewhere
It's
else.
happened to you guys the worst,
Richarlison
actually.
do the same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But listen,
And then you do
the
same
game is
for
the game,
Everton, all of
man.
that as
Yeah.
well.
There's levels.
Raj Kumar says Jude, Bruno, Casemiro midfield.
Oh, he's
Ooh.
not going to United, lads.
Oh,
Hey,
behave.
listen, United
He's
needs
already-
someone
he's
next to
already said that's
Casemiro.
not
That might
happening.
be one you guys are sleeping on as well,
Yeah, he's not.
potentially.
There's no way he's going there.
You don't go to
I bet 10 grand. No, I'm joking.
Big up
That was
Mossin
a
with the
joke.
super chat here
That was a joke.
as well. He says Liverpool can't afford him. Be real. No way they win a bidding
We
war.
can't afford him, right? We can't, because the club, when they bought us, was
Spread it
worth
over 3
300
years.
million, and now it's 6 billion. That's what it is. So yes, we can afford him.
about
It's whether or not
4.5.
FSG want to put the money in their hands in the pocket to buy him, and I think they do. I think the reason why we haven't been spending so much is to hold out for Jude Bellingham.
That's what
So
we'd like to think. Yeah.
It is. That's the ideal thinking process right now. If we don't get him, then I'm flabbergasted as to what their thought process
Yeah.
has been. But I think that's what it is. And the fact that Klopp came out yesterday and was doing that smile and talking about positive talk.
Something's going on here,
He
guys.
knows what we want. He's
I'm
not
waiting for the
soft.
wink and then we'll talk.
He knows what we want. You know what I'm saying?
Right.